First up, Washington has sent tens of thousands of weapons, including bombs and precision-guided munitions, to Israel since Hamas's October 7th attacks. Current and former U.S. officials say the U.S. has banked on procedures that have largely masked the scale of the administration's military support for its closest West Asia ally. Now, only two approved foreign ministry sales to Israel have been made public since the start of the conflict. The sales included $106 million worth of tank ammunitions and around $147 million of components needed to make 155mm shells. They invited public scrutiny because the Biden administration bypassed Congress to approve the packages by invoking an emergency authority. But in case of the 100 other transactions, the weapons transfers were processed without any public debate. As per the Washington Post, this happened because each fell under a specific dollar amount that requires the executive branch to individually notify Congress. Keeping each one small meant their contents remained secret, but they are reported to have included precision-guided munitions, small diameter bombs, bunker busters, small arms and other lethal aid. Now, taken together, these weapon packages amount to a massive transfer of firepower. Senior U.S. officials have complained that Israeli officials have fallen short on their appeals to limit civilian casualties and allow more aid into Gaza. The U.S. President Joe Biden's administration faced growing calls from Democrats on Wednesday to push Israel to ease the devastating humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Some say they may try to stop military assistance if conditions for civilians do not improve. Van Hollen and others have called upon the administration to hold back military assistance if Israel doesn't take steps to open the crossings for aid shipments. The U.S. Arms Export Control Act gives Congress the right to stop a foreign major weapons sale by passing a resolution of disapproval. Although no such resolution has both passed Congress and survived a presidential veto. An angry debate on the issue could embarrass the White House. Washington also has briefed Israel on a new national security memorandum that reminds countries receiving U.S. weapons to stick to international law. Separately, dozens of House of Representative Democrats released a letter to Biden on Wednesday. They expressed deep sense of urgency and alarm about the hardships being faced by civilians in Gaza. For more on this, we earlier spoke to our correspondent Jody Cohen from Tel Aviv.
So yes, as you said, there have been 100 arms sales to Israel during this war. While progressives in the Democratic Party tend to be more pro-Palestinian, support for Israel is a cross-party issue in the US, and a recent poll showed that more than 80% of US citizens support Israel in this war. But there is concern about Gazan civilians in Rafah, and the Washington Post is reporting that the US is considering making use of US arms conditional on civilians being protected. Now, Israel has said that it would evacuate civilians before targeting the last of the Hamas battalions in Rafah. There's also concern about aid, and Israeli spokesperson Eylon Levy has said that there's no limit to the amount of aid that can enter Gaza, and he said that the problem is with distribution, because he said the UN relies on UNRWA to distribute the aid, which he called a Hamas front, and because the UN relies on Hamas police to protect the aid, and he said that Hamas has been stealing that aid. Now, Israel is working with private sector organisations on solutions, and has also called on the UN to involve other agencies other than UNRWA. And in the latest, the UN has said that it's testing a new road to distribute aid, which Israel has built on the Gaza border.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.